they all kind of play in from the wrestling side to the striking side. It's not just a one-stop solution, like self-defense is often portrayed as. You do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you run away and you're good to go. The reality is you have to be able to fight. You have to be fit to fight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Into the Dojo. Today we have a very special guest. I want to introduce Amber Staklinsky. Am I saying that correctly?
Staklinsky, yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay. I did not practice for like 5 minutes before we started. From the Fit to Fight and the Fit to Fight Republic. Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We're a week away from one of our major events, so this is my last weekend to sleep, basically, and this next week is just going to be jam-packed.
Oh, geez. And what event is coming up for you?
We do an annual seminar series called Hard Ready each year, and it's 3 full days of training. We usually have between 8 and 9 instructors. They teach 2-hour segments, and so it's a pretty big event. We usually have, or we'll probably have a little over 80 participants this year, and then all the coaches. So yeah, we'll be about 100 people in the building. It's wild. It's a cool community and a cool atmosphere to be a part of.
Okay. I'm actually probably going to ask a question about this a little later. So let me highlight that. But first, for those of my audience and whoever else is on YouTube that doesn't know who you are, which should be very rare, can you do a quick self-introduction for everyone, please?
Yeah, my name's Amber Staklinsky. I am a lead coach and director with Fit to Fight. I've been part of Fit to Fight for the last 10 years, a little more than 10 years now, between training and instructing and managing programs. So myself and Ryan, we have 2 centers in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. One's in Charlotte, one's in Gastonia, and that's where we primarily spend our time. But then we have affiliates as part of the Fit to Fight network, mostly up the East Coast in the US. And we travel a good bit to those locations and other outside locations to do seminars and coach courses and different things like that.
Okay. So I had a bunch of questions that are not in the best order. So would you be able to describe to everyone what is Fit to Fight?
So Fit to Fight, as it sounds, is a group of people where the emphasis is on a truly holistic look at self-defense. Being fit to fight encompasses many different things, from your literal fitness level, your skill level, your mental toughness, your emotional toughness, and understanding that all of those things are perishable skill sets that need to be practiced and honed and worked on. So in Fit to Fight, we have, of course, certain schools that teach our programs. And then the Fit to Fight Republic at large is all of the different people that pretty much align with that thinking and that mindset.
Okay. And so what was it that started Fit to Fight? Was it the need to, like you said, be more pragmatic in terms of the practicing of practical, useful martial arts? Was it because fitness was not one of the prerequisites for most martial arts gyms? What was it?
So I'm going to come at this almost kind of from an outsider's perspective, because Ryan Hoover himself is the one who started Fit to Fight. And it was originally a program that was basically how to run a fight class. So you have Krav Maga schools that go from, okay, here's how to hit a pad, to, okay, hit this human, but there's a lot in between still to learn.
Yes.
As anyone who has made that jump will find out, you're like, oh, this is not a 1-to-1 ratio. And so that's what attracted me to Fit to Fight, because I had made that jump. I was taught how to punch the air and punch things and punch people not punching back at me. And then when it came time to punch people who were punching back at me, I was like, wait a minute, I can't do anything anymore. I don't understand.
Hmm.
And so when I really kind of stumbled upon Fit to Fight, truly on accident, it was a pretty big relief to see that huge gap being filled. And so it turned from just a program that was being offered into a full-fledged organization.
Okay. And that happened over the course of what, 10 or even more years, right? Because you've been there for 10
Yeah,
years.
I think it was more 5 to 6 years or so. I
Okay.
came in right around the time Ryan Hoover was originally with Worldwide. And so I came in right around the time he separated. So it was still news to me that he was doing his own thing, and that was about a decade ago. So
Okay.
he had the program for a few years, had different uh, agreements to push it to certain affiliated organizations centers, and then some people went back on their word and different things, and he was like, you know what, let's just do our own thing and make it happen. And so that's around the time I showed up,
Mhm.
and got to be a part of kind of that rebirth of sorts, the renaissance, the Fit to Fight
That
renaissance. Heck yeah.
that is awesome. Because like I remember I started watching the Fit to Fight stuff. Like, man, it wasn't right after he started posting videos on YouTube because I was kind of checking some stuff out. But it was I've been following Fit to Fight for years, like before I came to Japan almost. It's been like maybe like 5 or so
You've seen
years.
a lot of iterations then of
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, from the
Always
rough to
evolving.
well well polished. I've seen it.
Hmm.
So, but I love the evolution of it as it has gone throughout the years. Um, so before you came to Fit to Fight, did you have a martial arts background or did you train at all?
Yeah, so I'm one of those people who's been training my whole life. I started at
Woo
6.
woo.
Yeah, yeah. I did like the whole spectrum of kids martial arts. I started in kempo. I dabbled in like kung fu at one point. I did taekwondo. Yeah, nothing that I would like really lean on, but I did a bunch of different things. And I don't know if when my dad told 6-year-old me that it was forever, if he really expected me to take it this seriously, but here we are. um,
Almost forever, right?
like pretty much forever. So I moved from taekwondo to Krav Maga when I entered high school,
Mhm.
about 16 or so years ago, and that just kind of opened the door to jujitsu and kickboxing and this whole wide world of combat sports.
Uh, so I feel like you made the transition that many people that are training martial arts right now have made,
Yeah.
especially if been training really young. Because I started with karate.
Yeah,
Actually,
nice.
let's be completely honest. My first martial art was Taekwondo, but I only did it for like one day at
That's
like eight
everybody's
years
first
old.
martial art. It's okay. Yeah. Or everybody's about a blue or a green belt. It's good. It's fun.
Transitioned over to karate, and then did kickboxing and everything else. Like as it went on. So now it's like jujitsu and boxing and Muay Thai and stuff right now. So like I understand the transitions, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like before you made the comment about how like you had to make the transition between punching the air. So I assume that came from the traditional martial arts.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of emphasis on punching the air. But then I mean, punching pads wasn't too much different. You had some resistance there, but you know, there's still there's a lot you need to learn from a punch coming at your face that you just can't learn by somebody telling you to keep your hands up.
Your hands up. Why? That's like everything's perfectly fine.
Well, that's
Punch.
like they
Okay.
are up, right? They are up, but then that punch comes and you're like, oh, they were not up.
Not even close to being up.
Mm-mm, nope, had no chance.
It's like I have to move my face when punches are coming. What do you mean? All right. So now that we know that you've had experience and you've done both spectrums of the martial arts, from the
Mhm.
traditional to the more combative aspect, um, um, how would you describe the differences between the two?
Um, I mean, that could be a really huge conversation. But
Let's see how far we
if
can
we're
take it, and then if anything, we could probably just save the rest of that conversation for another time.
I'm gonna start like general, and then when you want to pinpoint on anything, we can do that. But
All right.
I think I think my time in traditional martial arts was great, especially as a kid. You know, there's a lot of elements that you still learn from it, like between character traits and, you know, the typical, the discipline, focus, that kind of thing. And you'll get that from structured organizations and good coaches. We have a kids program here that I run, and, you know, we're nowhere near doing forms and katas and stuff like that, but the basic, like the basis of it all is still the same. You know, yeah, you're learning to kick and punch, but it's not because you're gonna fight off, you know, a 6'3", 250-pound man trying to grab you. It's because you need to learn confidence and, you know, all the things that come along with being willing to get up in front of somebody and touch hands, or, you know, whatever it is you're doing. So I think the biggest difference is going to be the realism involved in terms of when you move from this structured environment training into a non-structured environment. You can get a taste of that in the more combat oriented sports, and you just don't really get a taste of that hitting the air, hitting pad, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Um, and I completely agree with you with the discipline part. So I
Mhm.
remember after training traditional martial arts for like a little while, and I was young, like everything else kind of just improved. Just in terms of like my personal discipline, I was willing to sit down and work harder at something or stay focused on something just because of that discipline that I had developed.
Yeah.
Um, Not sure if I would ever use it in a fight.
No, no, but
um,
maybe you've stayed out of fights because you were more disciplined and regimented, or able to focus on tasks, or whatever it may have been.
yeah. So that's definitely the case. Now, I definitely agree with you with the non-structured aspect of like martial arts or systems that are more combative in nature.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure if you know what kudo is. Do you know what daido kudo is?
Mm-mm.
You might have heard of it. So it's think you're still wearing a karate gi. You're still wearing a gi.
Okay.
However, you can do headbutts, elbows, knees, kicks to the groin,
Early
throws,
UFC.
ground,
Wear
like
what you
early
want, do what you
UFC,
want. I dig it.
pretty much
Okay.
in a gi. So it's like, all right, you're ready, all right, let's spar. Like yesterday, I got headbutted, elbow, kneed in the side, body slammed, and choked in the course of like 2 minutes.
And you look good, so you're okay.
Yeah, ribs are a little sore, but you
Yeah.
know, and it goes
I don't
back
think
to
my
that.
rib cage is in the right place anymore, but that's a whole other conversation.
Sorry, so I need to use you as a demonstration for technique.
But it's so interesting because, like, so as a coach, it's my responsibility to give you kind of like as much realistic, you know, unstructured chaos of what
Mm-hmm.
self-defense is, without putting you at risk of getting hurt training and not being able to protect yourself when you walk out of the doors. Or,
Yeah.
you know, it's your second class and you get messed up, so you don't want to come back because you think that's what it's always going to be. And
Mm-hmm.
now, you know, I've lost the year or whatever that you may have trained and committed to. So it's an important balance. You know, you can't just come
Yeah,
in and have everybody beat each other up the entire time because no one's coming back. But you
definitely
still
not.
you still want to be realistic with what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think it's really good to introduce that to them like gradually.
Mhm. Yeah. I just posted a video. I have the 4 to 7 year olds body spar. And I mean, we
Mhm.
spend months understanding like how hard you're supposed to hit people versus pads versus punching in the air or whatever, to where when I put them together and have them touch hands, like, I'm not worried about them hurting each other, but they do get used to, you know, bumps and sometimes getting hit a little bit harder than they thought and being able to keep going and get through it.
Mhm. I think it also helps, especially if you're talking about younger children, it helps them understand that they're able to take more than they expected they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's really good. Um, kind of going through my questions. We already got that one down, by the way. Um,
I'm good at this. I could probably just talk and answer all the questions.
All the questions are like one go.
All of them,
Uh,
one go. Just
so,
post the hour and 15 minutes of me talking. Oh God, no.
all right, are you ready? And go.
Go.
Um, so, we're kind of going back to Fit to Fight. Now, I've seen the website, so I know what you offer. Maybe other people don't know what you offer. So, could you tell everyone a bit about what is offered by Fit to Fight in terms of the combative or the martial arts, and what each of those things bring to the table in terms of how to protect yourself or
Yeah.
that is.
I'm going to do my best to get terminology right because we just updated that website. So you get the new and improved version. But
It's like 2 days ago.
yeah, you're on the good one. So our program, and we've debated highly in terms of how to kind of present what we offer, because it's a mixed modern combative approach. So that means you're going to have wrestling and Muay Thai and kickboxing, you know, and Krav Maga and these different combative arts within what we're doing. And we not like necessarily cherry pick, but based on the like whatever you're dealing with, you might have more wrestling needs, you might have more striking needs. And it's, you know, it's to the individual as well. If if we have a D1 wrestler come in, they need to be able to throw a few punches to where they can double leg them and then they can probably walk home. That's a different person than, you know, the 45-year-old accountant who has never hit anything in their life. So, you know, through our programs that we offer, which would essentially be Krav Maga, we do weapons defense systems, active killer defense. We do a firearmed course, which is being able to be in a fight and access a firearm. That's the same thing as edge of reality in terms of the knife work, being able to access your knife in a fight, or defend yourself from somebody with a knife or sharp object. And so we use those mixed combatives to find efficient and effective solutions for the problems you face in a self-defense context.
Okay. So from like basic, just you're still using the combat sports aspect of the martial arts. So you're still using your striking from the Muay Thai or the boxing.
Yeah.
You're still using your grappling from, say, the wrestling and the BJJ. But you're bringing in the more aggressive mental aspects, say, from Krav Maga.
Right.
Like using these things aggressively against someone that's trying to do harm to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And understanding how they all kind of play in from the wrestling side to the striking side. It's not just a one-stop solution, like self-defense is often portrayed as. You do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you run away and you're good to go. The reality is you have to be able to fight. You have to be fit to fight.
I love the plug there.
Wrong side. Boom.
Fit to fight. There's nothing on your shoulder.
Fit to fight. Darn it. That side's not fit to fight. It's only this side.
Is that your left side or your right side? I'm like,
it's my left side. Yeah, I'm a right-handed person though, so it's all right.
I don't know how that works.
We'll fix it next run.
Let's just put it on both sides. We're both in the fight. It's okay.